It's Mrs. Dommel here. Today we're going to be creating this Egyptian cartouche with our name on it. Let's get started. First of all, you're going to need to open your Chromebook and find the part of your lesson that looks like this. It's the hieroglyphics alphabet. It's how the ancient Egyptians wrote their alphabet. Next, you're going to need a piece of paper. I use this construction paper, but any paper will do. A paper bag would be a great idea. I'm just going to make my paper a little bit smaller because I didn't want to draw that big today. I wanted to make it a little bit smaller. And since the cartouche that we're drawing is long and skinnier, that we could just use a small paper that's a little bit taller than it is wide. And I'm going to rip that in half. You can use a pencil for this. I'm going to use a Sharpie because I want you to be able to see it while I'm drawing. I'm going to draw a rainbow line at the top, as wide as I want my art to be, and then at the bottom, draw the same line, a curvy rainbow line, and I'm going to connect them with a straight line down on both sides. Next, I'm going to go on the inside or the outside if you have room and just do that line again, because the outside of our cartouche is kind of raised up on our real one. So on our paper one, we're going to make it look raised up by making a ridge all the way around. And I'm just going to make one last little line to connect that at the bottom, like that. And I'm just going to finish up by drawing a curvy line all the way around to make it look like a raised up edge. This is supposed to make it look like it's raised up. The border of a cartouche is raised up a little bit in the gold when it's made. So I'm just trying to make it look like that. Now at the bottom of the cartouche is not a stand, but it kind of looks like the stand of a vase, but it doesn't stand up. It's just the bottom. So maybe you know what the bottom, where the bottom is. So I'm drawing that on there. Like that. With my black Sharpie, I'm just going to draw on that edge again to make it look like it's a little bit shaded. Just to make it a little bit more fancy. But you can leave that step off if you really wanted to. Now, what name are you going to write on yours? I'm going to write the name Ruth. That's my grandmother's name, and I just thought that would be cool to draw on my cartouche, but you could do your own name. If your name's really long, you probably want to draw even smaller, or pick a name that's shorter, like your nickname or your middle name or your last name. I'm drawing the letter R, which is just a almond shape, or like the shape of your eye. And I'm tracing everything in black Sharpie, just so you can see it really well. And I'm going to continue on with the letter U, which looks like a bird. More tricky than drawing that almond shape, but that's okay. If I were you, I'd draw with a pencil first and then trace it. But of course, if I mess up with a Sharpie, I can't fix it. But if I drew with a pencil, you really wouldn't be able to see it too well in the video. So that's why I use Sharpie on the video. There's my bird, R-U. And then the letter T looks like a little half moon. That looks pretty easy to draw. See it? Put that on there. And then the last letter of the word Ruth is H. And it looks like a twisted rope. So I'm going to draw that on there. Looks like 3 circles and then 2 lines down. So there's my finished drawing. What else could I do to make this look unique? I'm going to give this a lot of texture. I'm going to crinkle it up like that. I probably would have done it the first before I even drew, but then it'd be really hard to draw on. So I'm not going to do that. but I'm going to have to crinkle it up more than once to give it that soft texture, to get more crinkles in my paper. It actually makes the paper more soft. So I'm squeezing it. I'm going to unfold all of this without ripping it. See, I can do more than that. Just squeeze it with all my muscles. It's sort of fun to squeeze it and squish it up and flatten it out to see if it changes. One more time. And flatten it out. Oh, one more time. Squeeze it. Ugh. Push it. And unfold it. Ooh, I think I got it now. I'm flattening it out. You could rub it on the side of the table too if that helps. Just get it as flat as you can. See, I'm rubbing it on the table just to get it flat. And I'm going to take some crayons, and I have this marker, and this is actually a gold crayon I found in my glitter crayons, and a black crayon and a brown marker, and maybe my Sharpie, and I'm going to go around and just color some random parts of your cartouche. Some of it can be darker, some of it can be lighter, but if you look on the slide that I sent for my assignment, you can see that it's all one color when it's made out of gold, or it could be made out of stone, like the ancient Egyptians. So it's all brown and dark shades. So that's what I'm trying to create with this. I mean, you could color it with crayons with many colors if you wanted to, because it's your own art and your creativity is what matters. Coloring it with some black to give it that shading. That gold wasn't really showing up on the brown paper. And maybe just a little bit of color on the symbol right there. Can't see the gold. It's a gold glitter crayon that I found in my drawer. And I'm just giving it a little bit more color. Then I think I'm going to cut this out when I'm done coloring it for the final product. There you go. Then I'm just going to carefully as I can, cut all the way around my cartouche. If I wanted to, I could glue it down onto some paper if I was going to save it and maybe put it on the fridge. I think this would be a nice thing to make somebody with their name on it and give it to them too. I'm really excited to see how you guys are going to create your cartouche art today. And I'm just, oops, I'm off the camera. Sorry, guys. And I'm just trimming all the way around. Try not to cut too much of my drawing off the edge where I traced with Sharpie. But it's a nice thick line, so I think I'll be okay. Don't forget to clean up your mess when you're done. There's my finished cartouche. I clean up my mess here, put my supplies away, and don't forget to send me your artwork on Canvas.